So you may have just seen Amazon Game Studios will no longer be continuing to support new content updates for New World. Amazon Games as a whole has been met with massive worker layoffs, as they've made the decision to halt a significant amount of their first-party AAA game development work. So I want to go over what this means for us playing Throne and Liberty. Are they about to abandon us too? Like, New World servers will only be running through 2026 and probably ending once the player levels significantly drop off. But at least for us playing Throne and Liberty, there is some reassurances. First of all is the fact Throne and Liberty is not developed by Amazon Games. They are merely a publisher, entered a contract with NCSoft to publish it for the global audience. So that means even if Amazon Games is not publishing Throne and Liberty, the game is still up and running and being developed with new updates every few weeks, like they already do for the Korean server. And so it doesn't take a lot of effort on Amazon Games' behalf to keep their servers running. All they need to do is provide a bit of communication and customer support. And they do like to change a few things here and there, like what they sell on the marketplace, the costs of battle passes, skins, and things like that. But it is not nearly on the level of work that is required to actually develop, maintain, and create updates for an entire game like New World. So the devs have put out some reassurances here, saying they still fully plan to go ahead with the expected updates, bringing ranked mode for Battlegrounds, although they state here October the 23rd. That's not correct. This is miscommunication from the Korean devs, where they did get the rank mode for Battlegrounds. Tico stated it would be coming early November for us. They also promise additional orb balance adjustments and the continuation of Ion Silesium and Tico talks. So they at least haven't been fired just yet. Do be aware though, the developer behind the fashion contest no longer seems to be a part of AGS, no longer a community manager. So he or she is most likely one of the affected members who unfortunately got hit by the layoffs. So this is in some way definitely going to affect us for Throne and Liberty. I suspect communications is going to kind of dwindle. But fortunately, I don't think they will be slowing down in terms of updates, as they pretty much already do, is copy and paste what the Korean server gets. And so they can very well continue doing that, and it's in the best interest of NCSoft to do so, as long as the game is still being profitable. They state here with New World that it was no longer sustainable, and I would assume a big reason behind that is the fact New World was a one-time purchase game in most cases. There was the option, yes, to just buy some cosmetics, but it doesn't nearly have the draw to spend real-world money. Yes, there are some cosmetics you can obtain, but unlike Throne and Liberty, you cannot purchase power. There was no reason to spend money to get gold to buy items, like there is in Throne and Liberty. You simply buy Lucent, and you can spend that directly on the auction to buy items from other players. I'm not saying this is great, but this is definitely one of the big supporters that keeps these free-to-play model games financially viable for a business. And New World just didn't have that. So once it kind of dried up and not many people were actually coming back to buy the game, I'm assuming their financial situation just kind of dried up, and it ends up in a situation like this where they have to no longer continue support making new updates. And that is despite the game having what looks to appear a pretty healthy player base. But you can also consider when the game released, there was, yes, a lot of people who bought the game, but it has been 4 years since then. So it's very likely all of that revenue generated by those people buying the game over this time has kind of dried up without a lot of new revenue coming in. So ultimately, with the combination of Throne and Liberty being developed by a completely different studio and Amazon only publishing it, along with the fact that Revenue seems to be pretty good for Throne of Liberty, with it being supported through, yes, the pay-to-win model. We end up with there being quite a lot of security behind Throne of Liberty. That's of course not to say the very next day they could decide to shut the whole thing down. Maybe something could go drastically wrong with NCSoft. However, I would feel it's more likely they would hand off the game to a different publisher rather than completely shutting it down. Because again, that's all Amazon Games are for Throne of Liberty. A publisher, not the developing studio. The complete opposite for New World, since they are the primary studio behind it. And as they say here, they've made that difficult decision to stop developing the majority of their first-party AAA games, planning to switch over to more AI-focused stuff. And they do confirm here they will continue supporting Throne of Liberty and Lost Ark with regular updates and community engagement. Followed by this post from one of our community managers highlighting they have lots of plans for new content to come. Earlier this year, from the Korean developers, we did also get a roadmap, which roughly translates to this. So they do have quite a few plans in progress of new content upcoming, and it's undoubtedly stuff they're already working on, if not already just in the polishing stages. We have things like the artifact rework coming, rune presets. We already got the upgrades to the Giant Cordian Delos Noah weapons. They're working on new armor skill core system, new content like Tower of Greed, Archboss furniture, and early next year is plans for the new territory, the map that we've had leaked for quite a long time now, along with a new raid. Overall, it seems fairly safe, the future of Throne of Liberty. It is again entirely different to the situation of New World, which is absolutely very unfortunate. The game did seem to have a lot of promise. I personally just got back into it and started to level up a character to check out all the new recent updates that they came out with. And I don't think I'm alone in that either. You can see here they had a pretty big boost in players from just 15,000 concurrent to upwards of over 50,000 concurrent peak. And these numbers look pretty good for a game that has been released 4 years ago. So at least for me, I didn't expect them to be shutting this game down anytime soon and discontinuing support. From my experience leveling up a new character, the game itself felt, massively improved from its initial state. There's been a ton more polish, but apparently it wasn't enough. And this level of player base isn't apparently sustainable for them as a developing studio. But that's it for now. Don't panic if you enjoy Throne of Liberty. Once again, special thank you to all these channel members for your added support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys around.